Welcome to the Lyfe podcast.
Here we go, another episode of the astrology series. We're still keeping this going. This is your host, CJ Alton. Welcome to the Life Podcast. Of course, now we have finally reached the Libra episode. I've been waiting since, we started this series to get to the Libra. I feel like I have a, good connection with most of them. So now to hear about them, especially from an expert, is going to be amazing. So today we have Cynthia with us. Cynthia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, CJ. Thank you. How are you today?
Very good, very good. I'm excited. I'll definitely finally get to a sign that I'm like, all right, cool. These are the people I get along with, it feels like. So let me see what it's about. So I'm glad you're here. You can talk about it, and let us know more about the Libra and teach people just about the basics of the Libra. So
Of
let's go
course.
ahead and let's get to it. As we know, birthdays can fluctuate, depending on
Mhm.
how you see your philosophy, your theory, all that good stuff. But generally speaking, right, if you are born between September 23rd and October 22nd, you
Mhm.
are defined as a Libra. You can switch that up however you want. Cusp are always welcomed, right? But if you're born in between those dates, you are a Libra. So, starting this off, very easy. What type of sign is the Libra, Cynthia? Is it earth, air, fire, water?
What is it? Okay, so Libras are definitely is an air sign. And there's something that people need to know that usually air signs are represented not by animals, not by humans. They are represented with things.
Hmm.
And the main reason why they are represented with things is because air signs are mental signs.
Well, let's get into it. What does, this sign specifically, the Libra, represent overall? Like just personality wise, just who are these people?
Or the Roman time, there was a term called justitia, which means in Latin or in English that would be translated as justice.
Hmm.
So justicia or justice is associated with this sign for many reasons. But the very first thing that I'm going to say is that basically Libra is represented by the scales. So
Hmm.
it's not an animal, it's not a person, it's a thing.
Wow.
Okay. So the scales represent equality. Okay. So back to the Roman history, well, they realized that Libra, that the zodiac sign is a circle, right? So a circle has 360 degrees. Half of the 360 degrees, that would be 180, right? And so when we think about it, we realize that what's the sign that is in the middle of all the signs? That's Libra. So because it's the middle of it, it will represent already a half or the middle of something. So, which means that it will be equivalent to balance.
That is what I was reading about, that the ruling planet is Venus, but I'm so
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
also that's why it is represented by a woman, a blind woman holding a scale. Venus is a feminine planet, so I think the perfect representation always is a woman.
So name just a few qualities and traits of a Libra. I was reading some really good things about them for the most part. And we'll get into the weaknesses a little later, but just some of those qualities and traits that they carry. How would you describe a Libra?
Yeah, so the very first thing that I would say is that Libra, like I mentioned before, is an air sign. So an air sign is someone that's social, someone that's charming. They've been given the gift or of charm. So they're social butterflies. Not all of them, because that all depends on their aspects, like how well placed they will have a Venus or a Mercury, in order to connect with other people. But in a general rule, I would say that they are their stronger skills will be the capacity that they have to communicate and to interact with other people. And that's very usual for things that I'm going to mention later. But I would say that's the key words for Libra right now. I would say being outgoing, being social, being basically the social butterfly or the soul of any kind of party or gatherings in general. Um, they are people that are definitely not shy at all.
Mm.
And I feel like they can be excellent communicators, so that can lead them to be excellent in professions like politics, like arts in general, and then also maybe politics, maybe also like they can be excellent actors, singers, anything that's related to art.
Like that. I like that. Okay. So now let's flip it over.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could tell me a bit more weaknesses than what my book was giving me, because my book didn't give me too many weaknesses, but it did mention a couple of things. What are some weaknesses we can expect generally from a Libra?
Well, yeah, not everything is happiness, right? I would say one of the weaknesses that I see in a particularly in a Libra would be the fact that they can be a little shallow sometimes. And the main reason why they can be shallow is because, like I mentioned before, they are ruled by planet Venus. So people who are low vibrational, right? So I feel like a low vibration Libra will be someone that, because they love beauty so much, because they appreciate beauty and harmony so much, that can make them vain or shallow, especially women. I'm not saying all of them, okay, but because it all depends on aspects. But a low vibrational Libra would act this way. So I would say that's the number one weakness. Their number two, I would say that that's something I've been seeing in a lot of people that I know, and even celebrities as well. It's the fact that they can be love addicts, and at some point that can be something positive, and at some point no. Why it can be something negative? I think it's the fact that there's a point, that we all have the right to love somebody, but I feel like there's a point where jumping from one relationship to another in a very short time period or frame is not something very healthy for anybody. So I think that's what would make a Libra at some point a little histrionic, because they might seek or look for attention. And the number two will be the fact that that can make them, I'm not saying all of them, okay, people, it's just like, it all depends on your aspects, but that can make Libras a little promiscuous, because they can be, and that leads me to another thing that I think it might be a weakness for a Libra, and that can be they can be very indecisive about life in general, about their choices, their life choices, about their love affairs. They never know what they want, because it's an air sign. So, the air moves everywhere. Yeah, Libras might need to, low vibrational Libras might need to understand what they really want in life, you know?
Tell me about like the high
Mhm.
vibrational Libra, like when someone is in tune with themselves,
Mhm.
what are their best strengths?
I would say, okay, it's part of what I already mentioned, but I would say a high vibrational Libra will be someone that is very artistic, someone that is very how can I say it, diplomatic. Okay. So they are excellent negotiators. So that's what will turn them excellent people for when it comes to like being a salespeople succeed in the sales world. If you are someone that is looking to hire somebody that can sell a lot, please hire a Libra. They can be excellent models, and that's another thing that I would say too, because they are ruled by planet Venus, right? Most Libras, I don't want to say all of them, because we all have different genetics, we all have different lives, right? But I would say if they have a very well placed Venus, they can be perceived at some point as attractive people on a physical level, and in their personality as well. So, because you have to remember that Venus is all about attraction. So that will make them charming in front of a crowd, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
And then also another thing that I would like to add is that because sometimes that can be perceived as something negative or something positive at the same time. You can help me with that, but they can also be people pleasing. And at some point, that's something, like I said, positive, because it can help them to,
Very,
add.
they're very supportive. Like they can
Yeah,
help
like
out. Yeah.
supportive, like they prefer to avoid conflict.
Mm,
And avoiding conflict sometimes can be something positive because it can increase their chances of getting to know more people. But
yeah.
at the same time, avoiding conflict can be something negative because there's times in life where we really need to prioritize our self-esteem,
You gotta
and we
tell
need
people no. Like you gotta
yeah,
tell
yeah. I
people
would just tell people no and establish boundaries.
no.
We
Yeah.
all need boundaries. And that can, of course, attract some negative people into their lives, narcissistic, abusers,
Yeah.
so many things related to that. So that can be something positive or negative. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it as I would scale it maybe more on a negative just because, it's very important to like have your peace of mind as an individual because when you have your peace of mind, that makes it easier to help others now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of a Libra right now. I don't
Mhm.
think she knows how to say no. Like people come to her with things and she's always doing something for others until the point where she gets so busy she can't even focus on herself, right? So it's like you gotta know when to say no. Now I want to move into this segment of the celebrity, and
Mhm.
I'm really intrigued to see who you have chosen. Um, who do you see as one of the more good examples of a Libra?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of people in mind right now, but there's one particular case that at some point, because I'm a little old school, I'm not that young anymore. I'm a little old school, so I would say perfect representation for me of a rising Libra. Okay, rising Libra. I'm not saying solar sign because anybody can would tell me, oh yeah, she's a Leo. What are you talking about? She's not a Libra. No, I'm saying rising Libra.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Rising Libra means that this person has Libra in her first house.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm talking about Miss Jennifer Lopez or J Lo, whatever you want to name her. And I think she's a perfect representation of this sign for so many reasons. But I would just shoot whatever I have in my mind right now. So the very first thing that I can see in her about being a Libra rising is the fact that she's been very famous for jumping from like one marriage to another. Um,
That's a good
some
point.
people call her like the woman of the rings, because she had so many wedding rings in through like her whole life that we cannot even count them with one hand. And love affairs as well. So I think she's a love addict. And I'm not judging her by any means. This is not a channel built for judging other people. I'm just saying she's a representation of a Libra because I feel like she is the kind of person that is very indecisive. So it's been very hard for her, and I think she has mentioned that in a lot of interviews that they made her, that saying that she has been her major issue in her life has been successful in love. When it comes to love, finding somebody to like build a family, and being a stable person.
Mm.
So that's the number one reason. The number two is her personality. Some people say she's narcissistic, whatever they want to say, because I don't know her in person, so I can't really say if she's really narcissistic. But for what I can see, she's very talented. She's very artistic. She isn't shy at all. She's very outgoing. She's very flirty. She's very charming. She's a social butterfly as well. She gets At some point, because some people have some people have said that they have very bad experiences with her. I'm not sure if that's true, but
Mm.
let's pretend that's true. That will be another representation of a low vibrational Libra too, because that means that she will be shallow and vain to the point that it will start affecting her social interactions with people, with her employees, with the people that she knows.
But it's funny as you're explaining that, you're explaining like whether she might be a narcissist or not. It's funny because I remember South Park. I don't know if you've seen those episodes of J-Lo, but they portray her so bad. Like they portray her as being bossy, narcissistic. So it's kind of funny how
Yeah.
now this is the part where I'm like super interested and I'm like excited to talk about is the compatibility and who Libra, what are the top signs that they are most compatible with? I really want to go ahead and talk about that. So what do you think are the most compatible signs for the Libra?
For me, because I usually always mention like one sign in particular, but for me, Libras, they get along with any air or fire sign. Let's say Libras can be compatible with Leos because Leos are also professionals in when it comes to showing up, when it comes to art, when it comes to being very talented, smart people. And those are some of the traits that they will at some point share with a Libra. So I think a Libra will help a Leo showing up all those qualities that they have within themselves. That's the number one. Number two, they will get along with the Sagittarius too, because Sagittarius are famous for being very adventurous, and I feel like Libra, as an air sign, has the mental capacity to keep us Sagittarius seeking out more adventures and keep them entertained at some point. And the number three, as they can get along with their opposite as well. I personally have seen, I would say, love relationships or like affairs between Libras and Aries. They're opposite. Some people, they don't believe that opposites get along very well. I do. I'm talking about rising signs, but because when it comes to aspects, that's another thing. I will have to record a different video for it. But mostly when it comes to rising signs, yeah, they can get along very well because Libras are the representation of peace, and that's something that I didn't mention at the start as well. But in Aries is a representation of war. So I feel like sometimes some Libras might need, if you're a Libra woman, you might need a man that can give you some war in your life, some spiciness to your life, And since you are someone very diplomatic, you want somebody to calm them, somebody to just show them how like thoughtful and lovely you can be,
Now, you don't have to name all the signs that they might not be the most compatible with, but who
Mhm.
is that one sign where it's like, you know what? We buck heads all the time. This just isn't gonna work. Who gives the Libra the most challenge?
Probably like Pisces. I would say a Pisces because Pisces they like to, how can I say it without hurting people's feelings? But they like to dream a lot,
Yeah.
So, and I feel like Libras, they dream artistically speaking. They also dream too.
Hmm.
But when it comes to them, they prefer to do things like right here, right now. And so they are more paying attention more to like, they are fast people,
Yeah.
Something probably that I didn't mention about their personality as well, because that's an air sign. So
They're
they
like definitely like in the present time. Like the Libra is like,
yeah, like if they are enrolled in any kind of project, it can be work, it can be whatever everyday life thing. They want things done fastly and like right here and right now. And I feel like when it comes to earth signs and mostly water signs, I'm not saying all of them because again it all depends on their particular aspects, but they are not precisely very fast. So Libras will find some challenges trying to get along with them.
Now to, conclude this and
Mhm.
wrap this up, can you tell us just generally like what is the overall purpose of a Libra and what do they bring uh to this planet?
I think the message is very clear. For me, Libras are here in this planet to provide us, to teach us about balance. Everything, if you think about it, everything in life needs balance. If your health is not correctly balanced, you get sick. If your love life is not correctly balanced, you might get depressed. If your pocket, if your money is not correctly balanced, you can be homeless the next day. If your When it comes to society in general, there needs to be some sort of accountability for everything that people do, good or bad. And I feel like Libra is there to teach us that there is an invisible hand. There is, if you want to call it karma or natural karma, then that's there for you. But that's why justice is here in this world. If you have any personal matter that you can solve, like with your words, like putting distance with somebody, what do? You go to court, right? You need a lawyer. You need somebody to seek justice for you. So I feel like Libra is here to teach us that any organized society needs balance. And also, another thing that I appreciate from Libra is the importance of marriage. And that's something that people have lost within the last century. There's, several research that show that marriages and the divorce rates are super high right now. But I feel like marriage is the base of a society, and people need to be aware of that. It's part of being social beings in this world. So I think that's the main purpose of this sign for sure.
Man, so man, if you're dating a Libra, then you're gonna have to pop that ring out. Sounds like that's what's gonna have to happen. Well, listen, that was amazing. I definitely added some things to my knowledge in terms of why I personally get along with them. But I'm
Mhm.
sure, the normal Libra has learned a lot as well through that knowledge. So Cynthia, that was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on here, sharing your knowledge, continuing to share your knowledge. Thank you so much for those that have watched this.
Mhm.
Definitely go ahead and like and subscribe and share, comment down below.
Yeah, please subscribe to his channel. Like, hit the like button.
Please. Absolutely. Comment, let us know what you think about the Libra as well. And we're gonna see you on the next one. That'll be the Scorpio. So that's one I'm very intrigued in. And we'll see what they're talking about. So thank you all for watching. Cynthia, I'll see you soon.
Bye bye. See you later.
All right, thank